How are you, friends? Finally, I decided to make a video about how to use our new Atom paints. Those paints have released recently and many people who use them are completely shocked and happy with the results. But if you want to discover all properties and all aspects of those revolutionary paints, please stay here and enjoy this video because I want to explain you many techniques, many tips and many aspects of the paints. For example, how to apply them with the airbrush or with brush. But also I would like to explain you how to use the auxiliary products and many other details that will be very useful for your modeling. So please stay here and enjoy this video because I want to tell you many things about them. Let's go!
First of all, let's talk about the jars. Although they appear much larger, they are not much taller than others on the market. The difference is that they have a cylindrical shape that allows them to have more capacity and optimize the space, when as you can see, the size and height are the same as any other typical bottle on the market. The only difference is that Atom bottles have more capacity. This way, they can all fit in the same boxes and in the same storage, which makes them very unique. On the other hand, you can observe the capacity of the Atom paint, which is 20 milliliters versus 17 milliliters, which makes a big difference. The Atom paints also have a little mixing ball featured in ammo acrylics. It is important to always shake these bottles well before use, like all acrylic colors. The only difference is that ours have a little ball inside, which will help you a lot when mixing. You can also open it with one finger using only one hand, while standard bottles require both hands. So you have to leave your model or airbrush off to the side, while the Atom bottle is very quick and easy to use. The range of Atom colors is quite varied with a full catalog of vivid tones available. The range also provides extensive military colors. Notice that they have a totally transparent bottle, unlike others on the market that have a whitish bottle that makes it difficult to see what is inside. For example, this is a transparent white plastic bottle, but you cannot see what is inside. On the other hand, with the Atom example with a transparent liquid, you can see that it is a totally transparent bottle. This is important when choosing your colors. Above all, it should be noted that we have a wide variety of colors, from very bright tones for fantasy, to military colors for armor, aircraft, ships, and even all kinds of dioramas. You should choose the colors that you are most interested in for each subject. In any case, this booklet will allow you to see all the instructions and many tips and tricks used to apply them. You will also find thorough application instructions that I will share with you during this video. Above all, it is very important that you have this complete catalog with all the references with names and the conversion table and equivalencies so that you know what color corresponds to each product, and it allows you to compare with others. Finally, we have these products in a 20 milliliter format and 60 milliliter auxiliary products. And of course, a giant size of 400 milliliters for those who don't want to worry about running out of their most used products. And chipping fluid, which is super important. Also, a thinner, which is common for thinning acrylic colors. Also remember that the range includes metallic colors that will come in handy for many details and subjects, and are distinguished by the black cap, which will make them easily identifiable on your workspace. Finally, it should be noted that when you use enamel products such as washes, oils, or other more aggressive products, the finish of the Atom colors will give you the best results. The Atom colors will resist everything you can throw at them, even Yakumo products. We are going to apply them with the airbrush, which is where these paints excel. Atom paint flows very well. As always, shake it before using. The mixing ball will make it easy. Once again, notice that I open it with one finger with one hand, while on the other hand I hold the airbrush. Be careful. Never do this. Do not pour from the bottle in a horizontal position. Hold the bottle in a vertical position. In this way, you can use only the paint that you need by softly squeezing the bottle. This will ensure that the bottle always stays perfectly clean and the lid will never get stuck. We are going to start by painting the base color of a generic model without primer, so you can see how these paints have the ability to grip the surface. In this case, a military green was used, painted directly on the surface. Note that with very few passes, the base color has already been applied. To continue with the second color of the camouflage, shake the bottle, easily open it, and pour it. But if you see that it is a little dense for applying camouflage, you can add a little bit of thinner with retardant, which will make it flow better, and you will have more precision when painting the camouflage. Now I go directly to painting on the model surface. Notice that it covers perfectly. You can fill in the pattern quickly with great precision. It is not necessary to apply many coats. One coat will cover the surface. Even with this example being a light color, it will cover the surface perfectly. Here you can see the result. Painted directly on plastic, the color remains resistant and we have not used primer. One of the most important aspects of these paints is that they are self-leveling. For example, we are going to use this very intense turquoise color and we are going to flood the surface as if we don't know how to paint. We are going to soak the surface in a flooded puddle of color. Then we will see what happens when it dries. And obviously, after leaving it to dry, it leaves a perfectly smooth, uniform, and matte finish, without irregularities or texture. The surface is free of any type of finish imperfection that would make you think it has been poorly painted. This quality is difficult to find in any other paint. Of course, I recommend that you paint in a normal way with a couple of thin layers. It will be exactly the same, even if you flood the surface. It always self-levels, and it will always leave an excellent finish. Coverage is perhaps one of the most complicated aspects of painting, especially with light colors such as yellow, which is the most difficult color, even more difficult than white. So we are going to do a test of coverage directly on the plastic, with an intense yellow to see how it covers the plastic once it has been applied. It is applied once again without any kind of primer. Even if you apply it on a black primer, brown, or any other color, you will see that it covers perfectly. In a few passes, we get the maximum intensity of the yellow, and the plastic does not show through at all. But if you don't trust this example, let's do an even more extreme test. Let's paint the side of this model ruined with a black permanent marker. You know how powerful these markers are, and we are going to try to cover it with the atom color yellow. With the same paint applied in exactly the same way, we will see that initially it is transparent. Obviously, it needs more coats. We are going to continue painting progressively. What we will do is let it dry a little bit at the beginning, so that it fixes well to the surface. Now we will continue applying coats of yellow. Remember that even if you flood the surface a little bit, it will self-level and will dry matte. But what we are interested in knowing is if it is able to cover the black marker, so powerful on the plastic. I guarantee you that it is very difficult to do with any paint. With any other type of color, it is very complicated if not impossible to cover a marker stain of this caliber on this surface. And here is the proof. We are covering it very quickly, we are letting it dry, and we have perfectly covered the black mark. With nothing but the color yellow on the whole surface, this type of power is uncommon. Let's apply a camouflage test with a random color. Once again, the surface was painted without any kind of primer. Let's see how we would make a camouflage with a much lighter color with precision. For this example, we are working with the Air Viper, an airbrush with a little more precision than the Air Cobra. The pattern is made by perfectly outlining the shapes. Notice that it covers perfectly, even being a light color. We normally recommend that you paint the dark color over the light color. But in this case, it was done the other way around, so that you can see the covering capacity Atom has. We can make spots by outlining the sides and then quickly filling the inside. Once again, we see the covering capacity it has when painting large spots on the model. To do this, I recommend that you add a little bit of thinner with retardant. This is going to help considerably, especially to make this type of super fine and very transparent lines. The thinner with retardant is going to help considerably with this task. And finally, we are going to do a test with a paintbrush. Let's see what happens when we paint with a brush. We take this green that was used for the base color, and we are going to paint it over this intense turquoise color to see if it is really able to cover and not be transparent by simply painting over it. You can see that I'm using so much paint that I don't worry if the brush marks are noticeable. Initially, I'm simply trying to cover the color underneath. Let's see what would happen if I paint a camouflage with a brush. When it dries, you will be surprised to see that it is perfectly uniform and matte. Although it is dried a little transparent, the surface is very well covered. And now we are going to try with a black color that also is usually translucent and is usually difficult to paint with. This can be useful to make camouflage patterns of French vehicles, Japanese vehicles, and others. You can see the covering capacity it has, perfect for painting numbers, markings, or anything else directly on the model. Well, a little tip for the end. Here we have a normal thinner without retardant that serves to paint the generic base colors and dries fast. The retardant will be useful and will help us a lot to apply fine lines, camouflage, or transparencies and blending. And finally, one thing I always do is when I'm going to use a color, I always reserve a little color to paint the lid. The color you see was painted with a brush and it covers perfectly. This is the best proof of the covering capacity along with the example painted with an airbrush. The cap was painted for quick recognition of each color when stored.
Well, friends, that's all. What do you think? Do you discover something new or you already used many of those tips? In any case, if you are one user of the Atom Paints, actual user, probably you was surprised with something that I say in that video. And if you are ready to use for first time the Atom Paints, I hope this video was useful for you. In any case, from my side, I hope to make more videos in the future talking about more techniques, more advanced techniques applied in models. But by now, I think that you can start using them, enjoying them. And please let me know in the comments what do you think about our new Atom Paints. Thank you very much, guys, and see you in the next video.
Discover many more videos on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate notifications. Thank you for watching.